It's 6 p.m. now, Cairo local time. It's a very good evening to all our viewers and welcome to the evening's English News Bulletin here on Channel 2. My name is Angie Meher and I'm in the company of Reem Temer. Good evening to you, Reem.
Good evening, Angie. Good evening, dear viewers. And we start right away with the headlines. Election day voting begins after an extraordinary U.S. presidential race. Israeli occupation forces killed 29 Palestinians in Gaza, including 20 in the north. At least 5 Lebanese killed in Israeli strikes in eastern Lebanon city of Baalbek.
Welcome back. Starting with a look at the U.S. elections, American voters delivered their verdict on Tuesday after an extraordinarily turbulent race between Vice President Kamala Harris and previous President Donald Trump. As polling stations open nationwide on Election Day, the Democratic VP Harris and Republican former President Trump are dead even in the tightest and most volatile White House race of modern times. We have the details. As the world awaits the possible presidency of either Kamala Harris or Donald Trump, there are growing doubts about America's ability to navigate global affairs effectively. On the night of Donald Trump's unexpected victory in the November 2016 U.S. presidential elections, foreign affairs think tanks quickly convened to analyze the 2016 election results and anticipate the trajectory of U.S. foreign policy under Trump. His abrasive language towards adversaries and allies hinted at a shift towards isolationism. He represents a fraction within the Republican Party that opposed global involvement and resisted the burdens of international leadership traditionally associated with America's stature. However, these seminars often conclude without clear answers. More than 4 years later, the specter of Trump looms large over Washington's intellectual and political circles once again. His dramatic exit from the White House in 2020, marked by the storming of Capitol by his supporters who alleged widespread electoral fraud in favor of Joe Biden, has only intensified his impact. The world waits for the possible presidency of either Kamala Harris or Donald Trump, amid growing doubts about America's ability to navigate global affairs effectively. Over the last 3 years, the U.S. has faced two significant geopolitical challenges: the Russian invasion of Ukraine and Israel's military aggression in Gaza, alongside expanded operations against Iran's proxies in the Middle East. Many American foreign policy experts remain skeptical about Trump and Harris's capacity to deliver convincing foreign policy. Concerns regarding Harris, who entered the presidential race just over 100 days ago, center on her limited experience in foreign affairs. Traditionally, U.S. vice presidents play a minor role in international diplomacy. Also, growing dissatisfaction surrounds Biden's inability to effectively address several international issues or intervene in ways that align with the U.S. global stature, particularly in conflicts threatening the vital interests of the U.S. and its allies.
U.S. Cybersecurity Agency Director Jen Easterly said that the 2024 election has faced an unprecedented amount of disinformation from foreign adversaries. However, she added that the department has not seen evidence of any activity that could directly impact the outcome of the election. U.S. agencies have warned that Russia and others intend to fan divisive narratives during the election, adding that foreign disinformation efforts will likely continue in weeks and months after election up until January the 6th.
Moving to regional news, the Israeli war of aggression continued in Gaza, killing at least 29 people, including women and children, early on Tuesday and overnight. Medics said 20 of the martyrs included 18 deaths in the previous 24 hours.
In the West Bank, 4 Palestinians were killed by Israeli occupation forces. 2 civilians were killed in an airstrike near the northern city of Jenin early Tuesday, while the other 2 were fatally shot in the village of Tamoun. Israeli occupation forces have carried out near daily
Meanwhile, Egypt condemned an Israeli decision to ban the United Nations Agency for Palestinians, calling it an unacceptable disregard for the United Nations and the international community. The Foreign Ministry called the move a dangerous development aimed at erasing the Palestinian cause, particularly the issue of refugees and their right of return. It added that UNRWA's role could not be replaced or dispensed with.
Lebanon's health ministry said that Israeli strikes on Tuesday killed 5 people near the eastern city of Baalbek, including 2 killed in a strike on a car. Israeli airstrikes also hit an apartment building in the beach town of Jiyeh, south of Beirut, among other scattered locations across the country. Lebanon's state news agency said that it estimated Israeli airstrikes and widespread detonation of homes had destroyed more than 40,000 housing units in the country's border region. Israel began a ground invasion of South Lebanon on October.
The Lebanese Red Cross will send another convoy Tuesday to Watha in southern Lebanon to search for and remove the bodies.
A Russian strike on an infrastructure facility in the Ukrainian city of Zaporizhzhia near the front line has killed 6 people
And back home, military spokesperson Staff Brigadier Gharib Abdel-Hafiz said 2 officers were martyred after a helicopter malfunctioned and crashed during training at the Shalofa region. Spokesperson said due measures were conducted by concerned bodies, and the armed forces have offered their sincere condolences to the families of the 2 martyrs.
Prime Minister Mustafa Madbouli stressed the pivotal role of the database centers in boosting digital transformation efforts by the Egyptian government. The new data centers aim to turn Egypt into a regional and international center for innovation and technology. This came as Prime Minister Madbouli attended the signing of a contract with Intro Holding Group to offer land for use right to the group to establish Kemet Center for databases inside the Suez Canal's economic zone. The center offers services in digital transformation systems and is part of the government efforts to supply suitable atmosphere to attract investors in cloud computing field.
The Minister of Planning, Economic Development and International Cooperation, Rania Mashad, probed with Germany's Minister of State for Economic Cooperation and Development joint cooperation aspects between Egypt and Germany. The meeting was held on the sidelines of the opening of the German pavilion at the 12th edition of the World Urban Forum in Cairo. Minister said the forum is an opportunity to boost joint work between different countries over urban and city development. She reviewed sustainability and financing frameworks for economic development with the aim of achieving a comprehensive and specialized and sustainable economic growth as part of the government's program 2024 to 2027.
Minister of Water Resources and Irrigation Dr. Hani Swaylam hailed the fruitful cooperation between Egypt and Germany in recent years that witnessed implementing different projects in the field of water resources. This came as the minister met with the German ambassador in Cairo, Boren Scholz, as both officials reviewed a number of regional issues in the field of water, pointing Egypt's permanent support to the African countries and especially Nile Basin countries.
Now moving to the exciting world of sports, a minute's silence will be observed before this week's European club matches in memory of the victims of the devastating floods in the Spanish region of Valencia, according to UEFA. The Champions League matches, including holders Real Madrid versus AC Milan in Spain, will take place Tuesday and Wednesday, with the Europa League and the Conference League fixtures to take place on Thursday. Deadly flash floods in eastern Spain have killed at least 217 people, had already impacted La Liga fixtures last weekend.
Alexander Mitrovic scored 3 times as Saudi Arabia's Al Hilal beat Iranian side Istiqlal in the AFC Champions Elite to maintain their
With that, ladies and gentlemen, we wrap up the evening's English News Bulletin here on Channel 2. You're in the company of myself, Angie Meher, as well as Reem Tamer. Thank you very much, Reem.
Thank you, Angie. Thank you, dear viewers, and thank you for watching.